Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Before we begin today's show, I would like to start with a hymn. Send us thy asteroid, onward, thy vengeance be on us of God. Thank you. Now then. Well, I got bad news. I contacted Alexander McCree 9 a.m. this morning and asked, "Hey, are we still on this morning? Are we still on today?" And unfortunately, he had stuff coming up, which conflicted unexpectedly. So I am sad to say that we will not have Alexander McCree on today. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know. At least one of our panelists was very, very eager to talk to him, and of course, I would love to see him again too, because he was so much fun to have on the show last time. I mean, the guy's like a super brainiac, and he's pleasant to talk to, and he's a nice guy. So I'm a little sad today, but other than that, I think you'll still be happy with who we do have today, because I've got Grim.
Hello. I resent the
Hello.
implication I go to church. I catch fire if I set foot on holy ground. So
I know. But we need a hymn like that. Come on now. I thought that was appropriate. I mean, especially after some of the weeks that we've had. I mean, I was just like, every day I wake up and I'm going, damn it, the asteroid still hasn't hit. So
every day I wake up and just say, damn it. Not again.
Shit, I have to actually go through today. Yeah, I know.
Still breathing. What a drag.
Still breathing, yeah. Well, that's okay. It'll stop one day. Ironcaster.
Hello, sir.
Hello. And by special request and by a great deal of begging and a great deal of joy, we have Harmony Ginger.
You have no idea how much I begged to be here.
I meant me begging you.
He almost told me no. He tells me no every time. But today he's like, fine, I'll let you meet Alexander McCree this time. You didn't beg for one whole week. And so now I'm here and Alexander McCree's not here.
Well,
it's just how it goes.
Well, if it helps out, I've got a rare picture of Grim I could show you to compensate you.
Oh my God. No.
Oh, yeah, I want to see the rare Grim.
Oh, wow. From his vampire LARP days.
Is the Nosferatu.
The Nosferatu.
Oh, that's good.
And TV.
I had an artist friend draw some goblin cats for Ronin. They kind of look like that.
We have Wick TV today. Hey, man, how you doing? It's good to see you. Just a passerby. Nice to see you. Malachi, Lord Thoth. Good to see you.
Malachi always comes with me.
Oh, yeah. He's
tired
great.
of seeing me everywhere.
Well, I mean, you're popular. What can I say? But I knew you would be.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that on Diversity and Dragons last week. That's my favorite segment of every show, like where they talk about me.
Well, you are on a lot of people's lips these days, so. But yeah. I do have some really good news though. Thanks to Diversity and Dragons in that show, and probably thanks to Dungeon Delver, I'm 14 subs away from 1,000. Yeah, We're almost there. We're almost there. I mean, I'm so close now. I could just reach out and touch it. And I mean, man, let me tell you, like last week, I was telling Grim, I was like, man, I've been doing this for almost 5 years or so now, and maybe I should just hang it up. And he said, nope, stay with it. So if any of you guys out there know like 14 people who, aren't doing anything in particular with, and just happen to have YouTube accounts, could you please ask them to, click the sub button? We'd like that.
Or if you have multiple YouTube accounts, subscribe with all of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if I disconnect, it's because I got a really bad storm. You guys probably heard it.
A little bit of a rumble, yes.
Yeah.
And, I got a new I got a new video clip.
Oh,
See? Yeah. I like this one.
Sure.
Mr. Homolka? Well, stop eating my sesame cake. Stop eating my sesame cake!
Stop eating my sesame cake. Yes. I'm sorry. I love that. That just makes me laugh every time.
So what's on the agenda for today?
We don't have an agenda. We're here to talk.
Okay.
Hey, Cal. It's good to see you. No, but seriously. My gosh. Okay. I've got, man, you guys would be proud of me, man. I worked my ass off yesterday because I busted ass. I sat down. I built 5 videos, of which several of them will be dropping over the next few days. So look forward to those. But one of the things I dropped a video on is this new product. Well, it's not new. It's been out for a while, I think. I just hadn't heard of it until a couple of weeks ago. But I'm especially excited for Mr. Grimm to take a look at it.
Ruh-roh.
Yes,
Never
it's
heard of it.
Yeah, see, I knew you hadn't heard of it. I hadn't heard of it. I had never heard. I didn't even know this existed. But I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Caught an ad for it up on X, and looked into it. Bought the main core rulebook, and it's pretty cool. It has a lot of mechanics that seem very familiar to people who are used to your standard D20 systems, but it is not that. For one thing, all your stats are 4die6 derivatives.
Hmm.
And the damages are higher for sure.
see, T-shirt looked at this and said, "I would like to try a cyberpunk game for a change because I've never tried this before."
Yeah. I've never done a cyberpunk game at all. It's such a new idea and concept. I thought, wow, let's try one. The truth is, I don't think anyone is ever going to come close to the actual cyberpunk game by, Mike Pondsmith, because let's face it, he's got years and years and years of lore built up around that game that people can't touch.
Well, you got to remember, he designed the genre, and it's so much so to the point that it's named after what he did. Like everything is a cyberpunk derivative.
Very true. Very, very true. But this is pretty good too. This one kind of makes no bones about what it's about. This kind of takes me back to the 2020 roots, because in this you're literally fighting back against the corporations that own everything.
Mm-hmm.
But this one seems to have like a lot less cyber gear or cyberware in it than I would expect for a cyberpunk game. But it still has some. But it has quite a few classes. I like the way it does its leveling up system and some various other things. I really need to get down and read through it more in depth. but the artwork is really, really good all throughout this. In fact, I think you're going to get tired of me saying, "Ooh, I like this picture. Ooh, I like this picture. Ooh, I like this picture" on my unboxing. But
Can you share a little bit of that?
I can. Let me. Is that better?
Yeah.
Or is it- Okay. I shall. And apparently, this was a Kickstarted product, and they do have a YouTube channel and a Twitch stream where they run this.
Ooh.
So if you want to see it in action, but
Well,
you know,
the old adage. Be sure to tag the original creator in the video when you post that out.
I did. I posted all the info where you can buy it. Yeah, but it starts off with all the this is the world. This is what's going on in it. Before we get into character creation, which has its archetypes. Here's its 4x6 stat block bonuses and stuff. And with 4x6, it is kind of important to remember that your physical average is going to be changed for everything, because like we're used to 10s being an average person in OSR D&D. Now I have to remember that 12 is about the average, or actually, according to this, 13 to 14 is the 0 point. Yeah,
would be the average.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also much more likely to roll stats clustered around the average.
Mm-hmm. But
yay, bell curves.
Yep. It uses rovers, which is more drone oriented stuff. It does have a full set of hacking rules. It does have gutter punks, and it does have a gutter punk aesthetic, which I figured, Grim could probably latch onto that.
What are you saying?
Just you have a style.
Does look like Grim vibes.
Uh-huh. Greasers, which are actually, people who work on cars and stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Law enforcement. A lot of it feels cyberpunk. Outriders.
Looks good.
Yeah, I like it. Everything is pretty much straight up answered. It talks about the time tracking, environmental effects, how far you can move, and stuff like that.
All the usual shit. What's its USP then? What makes this stand out from other cyberpunk RPGs?
What makes this stand out? The damage values on the weapons are higher. I haven't really investigated the hit points, but I like the way it's laid out mostly. I like how clean it is, how easy it is to read and absorb. It's 237 pages, but it doesn't feel like it's overwhelming.
So it's not a monster. It can be hard to find games under 500 pages now. Feels like. Yeah,
I need to investigate it some more and read up some more on it. But just from my initial, unboxing and flip through, I kind of like the ideas and what it's going with. I can't say much beyond that. I mean, worst case scenario, I take, the setting and stuff from here, and I transfer it to Cities Without Number. Not hard to do, because you know me, Church of Crawford. But in the instance that it does actually happen to be a good game on its own, and it doesn't seem to be too far removed from what we're used to, kind of means that it should be pretty easy for people who are used to 5e or OSR to be able to pick it up and try it out.
What about the world building to it? Like, has Nestle finally come and bought out the entirety of the Great Lakes for their water?
Yeah, there is a big section on all the corporations and logos and everything else. The military is still part of the equation as well, from what I've seen. Like I said, I haven't sat down to really read through this. All I did was basically I got it. unboxed it, looked through it, and kind of gave you my opinions on what I liked, what looks good, what looks interesting, and why people should be interested in maybe checking it out for themselves. The price point was not too ridiculous. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick.
Oh, so it's like a cyberpunk game with like corporations running everything, like with the where I bet you can get like augments too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here is the here's
No,
the
I'm
link.
just kidding. I'm sorry.
Here's the link to the to their website and their core rulebook.
Sorry.
What?
How do you say the name of that?
Idenco?
Oh, there's an I there. I thought that was part of the D.
No,
Okay.
Identico is one of the corporations in the book.
Mm.
When I first saw the title for this, I thought it was like a dentist.
No,
me too. That's what I was looking at.
But a digital copy of the core rulebook is $15.99. The actual core rulebook physical copy is $29.99. So that's not bad. I mean, $30. And it's a nice looking book.
How many pages was it again?
237 pages.
That's really not that bad.
No, it isn't. The only real, the biggest problem I have with this book is the same problem I have with a lot of TTRPG products that are being made these days, and that is there's no index.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes me unhappy. I absolutely have to have an index in my RPGs.
Does it have an overexpansive contents instead?
It does. Let me show you the contents page so you can peruse it. I think that it's actually a double page of. Yeah, let me look at how dense that is.
Because a lot of people seem to be doing that, substituting a contents for an index, but it's not as useful, I don't think, for looking things up as having things in alphabetical order.
I agree. And plus, what if I'm looking for a keyword or something?
Yeah.
But
I recommend you bust out your highlighter.
And multicolored post-it notes stuck in various pages.
Oh, I actually put index tabs in my Stars Without Number book.
I mean, an index is like a must, though, when you're looking things up on the fly during the game and you don't know how something works.
I agree. The other product I got is probably a little bit more on the OSR people's wavelength, and I was really, really shocked at how good this was because I'm surprised nobody had ever told me about it before. This is Ambition and Avarice 2. I don't know why it's the second one, but you'd have to ask Chubby Funster. But it's an OSR product, and they do a lot of really good things in here with the rules. Just in looking through it, I found things already that I want to crib, even if I do not use this system.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's OSR, it's pretty easy to pick up. But like, first off, one of the things that he did was he color coded all the chapters, so you know which chapter you're in as you're reading. And he does have a pretty interesting racial system with a lot of the classics, but some other ones. He also does break them down into barbaric and civilized races. He has cultists. And he has zealots, but he does not have clerics. And I like that. The zealot actually kind of replaces the cleric. And I think it's actually a better class of character because it's honestly what clerics should have been from the beginning. But the classes he does have are pretty familiar if you're an OSR person. Spell levels stop at 7, including the Great Wish spell, which is in here. Also, I should note his wish spell costs you a buttload of XP in order to cast it. It is a wish spell has a definite cost that will punish your character if you use it. So it's not something to be used willy-nilly, even if you can cast it. And I like that.
I do like XP cost. Yeah, XP cost for high level spells is good.
Mm-hmm. He's got a good encumbrance chart. And something else that he does that I really like, and they also do this in Identico. You notice that his thrown weapons are derived from the distance you can throw them is derived from your strength score. Like yeah, throwing a hand axe, the range is 3x strength. The javelin 5x strength. So now there's no longer a set distance that you can throw stuff like in the other books, like it's 10 foot, it's 5 foot, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but you know, a feeble invalid, you know, being able to throw a sling stone as far as a, you know, like Thorfjorn Hafferson doesn't make any sense.
Well, sling there does say 100 feet, so sling is set.
Well, yeah, but like a thrown rock.
Yeah.
So, and another thing he did.
Rock.
The other thing that he did in here.
How can you throw a goblin?
You know, you're gonna make me pick up the Identico book because one of the best things about it is it does have a thrown objects table, and on the thrown objects table, it takes into account your strength versus the heaviness of the object you're throwing as to how far you can throw it. So yes, if you wanted to pick up a goblin and throw it using Identico, you could figure out how far you could throw a goblin based on your strength.
Goblins in Cyberpunk, though.
Well, I mean, you know, you can always add them in. I mean, it's a game like anything else.
But have you considered the aerodynamics?
Well, no, I don't guess that aerodynamics don't seem to factor into it, but he does have a pretty...
There's a lot of drag on a goblin, but they have those big ears to help them glide.
Very much. He's got preset backpacks, which is something that I first saw being done in Castles and Crusades. So if you just want to equip somebody quick, or let's say, you know, your characters encounter a corpse, and it happens to be like a spellcaster's corpse, and he still has his loot on him, you can kind of figure out from there what he's got in his stuff. But that's not the part that I really liked. This is the part that got me very, very excited when I saw it. Oh yeah, it does have a really good list of catalysts for your spell casting. And it does take into account the expense of the spices and things, which is something that a lot of systems don't, because as you know me, I'm a historical nerd, and traditionally spices cost a lot of money in our world. In fact, you know, wars were fought over the shit. So for spices to actually have a decent cost on everything is really good accounting, in my opinion. That's good. I like that. But that's not the part that really got me excited. This is right here. Oh yeah, Ice, you like the simplified gear packs as well?
Trophies.
The trophies. All your monsters have a value attached to the things you bring back on them. This is something they should have had all along in all the books.
That's my favorite sort of... Oh.
You what?
Yeah, that's my favorite sort of supplement is monster parts supplements.
Yes, mine too.
I use those so much.
Mm-hmm. It does give you a full description on what the monster parts are and how long they last, or if they have special effects, like eating a cockatrice crown will increase your charisma for 4 points by a period of 2d4 turns. So you could eat it, or you could turn around and you could sell it for 1,600 gold pieces per pound. Is that cool, or is Is that just me? Am I just getting overly
No, I
excited?
love
for nothing?
that.
That's a good little
I
addition.
love that.
Yeah. I like this so much. Like I said, even if I don't use this system, I'm definitely going to be using parts of this. It's got a nice section on dungeon encounters, time management, and such. It defines the size of the hexes. They're 12 miles. Well, actually, they're 24 miles across, so they're like 12 miles in radius, I guess. 14 miles on each side. So for a total of a 510 square mile hex. That is a hell of a lot of space for a single hex. I mean, Grim, how much shit is in a 510 mile area around you?
Well, didn't we go over this before?
Yeah, but we were using smaller hexes then.
Yeah. A lot.
That's all of Florida.
Maliki, yes, there are reaction rolls. But I love stuff like this. It all
No, that's all of Florida for me.
510 miles?
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be all of Florida.
I live in Texas, so 510 miles is... it's far, but I'm still in Texas.
That's 510 square miles, though, so you can't think of it in terms of distance.
Yeah, that's true. That's a 12-mile hex. That's right. I'm sorry. I was thinking of like 500 miles from me.
I'm sorry. I see. The problem I have is I don't think in terms of miles. I think in terms of time. Like, it's about an hour away.
Yeah. No. Okay. That doesn't even get me into Orlando. Like.
F and GM. This book is Ambition and Avarice 2. It's written by Chubby Funster. I might actually invite him to the show one of these days to talk about this, because I really like what he's done with it. He does have a nice little ending credit section. But it has a nice section on advancement and what you get. Monster XP, that kind of thing.
Do it.
It has a skill system. Henchmen and hirelings by population, everything. It's pretty in depth. It's probably not like as what's the word I'm looking for? As crunchy as like Axe 2, because let's face it, Axe is pretty much like the bar for minutia in your games.
It is the all brand of OSR gaming for crunchy.
It truly, yeah.
No,
the all brand.
If it was any crunchier, it would be granola.
Seriously. But there's your morale checks and stuff for you, and when you should do it. And all the monsters, of course, have their morale. He's got domain play already built into this thing. Does it include clean?
I have to ask, what's the USP on this? What's the unique thing? What's the hook?
The hook?
Yeah.
It's
Why
just
should you get that instead of something else?
Why should you get this instead of something else? Well, as I've already shown, it's got a very robust system for things that you can use as a player and as a GM. If all you want to do is go monster hunting, the trophy section alone makes a really good case for why you should build a monster hunting party. Not to mention, you can still do your traditional adventure hooks. And the way that the characters are built and the stats and everything, it being an OSR product, I don't think it's too difficult to use this in place of, a traditional OSR game. You could easily use, any of your existing other modules or stuff like that. If you wanted to run a module and just use this as your core rule system, you could probably do it without too much difficulty. Like I said, it does have a massive spell list. Although the spells only go up to 7th level, the spells have gotten a lot of work over to where they seem a little bit more fair. If that's a thing.
So would you buy it as a toolkit to supplement your other OSR stuff, or would you use the setting with your favorite OSR rules, or would you move a setting into this rules-wise?
I would definitely use this as a toolkit, if nothing else. If I did not get any other use out of this product, it would be to crib the ideas that it's presented and the tables that it uses.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it doesn't give you a setting so much. So it is, in a way, kind of like a generic fantasy type thing where you can kind of build as you go.
But there's stuff that's implicit from the various aspects of it there, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
the changes to the classes and things like that.
Yeah, the changes in the classes are kind of where it's inherent. Like I said, I only unboxed it yesterday. I haven't really had a chance to go in and read it in depth. Mm-hmm. So most of my observations are from just flipping through the book and seeing what's available. And yeah, here's that wish. And oh, we've got an Iris. Hey, Greg.
Hello.
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 So yeah, how it defines wish. First off, you need vanilla to cast it. But yeah, most powerful spell in existence, can have the effect of any other spell known to the caster, can be altered to be comparable, for example, to create a wall of acid instead of fire, so you can use it to substitute. Character skills and class abilities can be altered. Yeah, that's very powerful. New powers can be granted. People can be raised from the dead or slain by the 100. Events can be reversed. Time can be altered. The very nature of reality can be changed. The judge will work with you on the exact nature of the changes. But this comes at an exceptional price. You will lose 3d6 times 1,000 experience points by casting the spell. If this causes you to drop back to level 12, that will occur immediately after the spell has taken effect, and you will lose all learned 7th level spells, including Wish.
3d6 times 1,000 experience points.
Yeah.
You might as well go to the white section of the petting zoo.
Exactly. It's not a, I mean, and I've always said this, Wish is the most ridiculously powerful spell ever invented or devised. It literally can change the laws of reality as they sit. So it should have an appropriate cost. And I never bought into the gold piece costs or any of that other stuff because, you know, when you get to the level that you can cast Wish, money doesn't mean very much. You know, so actually having it cost XP makes a lot more sense to me. What do y'all got? What do you think?
I like the XP cost.
What are we talking? Which game is this?
This is Ambition and Avarice 2.
That sounds obscure, but it looks cool.
It is obscure.
I just like monkeys pawing people when they try to use Wish.
Yeah, well, this one you don't even have to monkey's paw them. They're automatically gonna get penalized for it. It does have their spell list by what type they are. It does have all your religion and pantheon stuff, and then it has a whole section on NPCs and dungeons and dungeon familiarity and stuff like that. Yes, annoying bard is an enemy you can face in this game.
Brave, 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 brave Sir Robin.
Redundant.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, annoying bard is redundant.
So all the stat blocks are built up this way. You get like you get like a brick of text. Sometimes you get a picture, and then at the bottom you get the actual stat block.
Looks good.
And yeah, and the stat blocks are written in, you know, pretty much regular OSR, or if you don't have time to be looking for the individual stuff, they're all listed alphabetically in front of the bestiary. So like, you know, if I want to look up my favorite Minotaurs, you know, HD6, AC 13, 1d8 weapon damage, 1d6 gore damage, double on charge, 1 attack, 30-foot move, 8 morale, makes all of its saves at +3, size large, and it does have sizes in this game. Type C for treasure, number appearing 1d8, alignment L. You know, It's this is not hard to grasp or anything like that if you're already used to OSR. With that said, I'm not sure if this is necessarily like baby's first OSR game. Like if you've never played an OSR game or a D&D game, it's probably not as like user friendly. Nothing's as friendly as like BX, but if you already have experience, it's definitely worth taking a look, especially if you are looking to add or change up some stuff in your campaign. But you could see more about it on my review that will, well, not my review, by unboxing that will be dropping in a couple of days. The treasure tables are pretty sweet because it has a treasure table for each type of treasure, and it goes from 1 to 100 on every single one of them. So you can get really robust treasure generated pretty quickly out of this. And then he has, his closing thoughts on this and reasoning as to why he did some of the things that he did, including character sheets. And yes, he has an index. So he did everything right, in my opinion. This is what I want when I buy a game. And I don't have any complaints about the layout. So, what do y'all think?
I mean, it looks good. You can't judge it until you actually play it and see how the mechanics play out, though. So
True.
I mean, just more having a little more variety, a little more options is always kind of worth having. If you want to change things up, maybe grab a different set of loot tables.
Yeah. At the very least, it's a really nice toolbox, if nothing else. And I don't think the price was too ridiculous. Let me double check on. Let me check on DTRPG. Y'all are kind of catching me with a little unprepared because I didn't have all my stuff up. But give me a sec here. The sad thing is how long it took me to actually get it, because I ordered it like almost a month or so ago, and it finally came in. Yeah. Okay. Here is the link for where you can buy it. The PDF is $12. If you're like me and you sprang for the book with the PDF, it's $29.19. $30 for a book that size is a steal.
yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's 374 pages. 10 races, 12 classes, pre-built backpacks. He boasts that it's the most comprehensive medieval fantasy equipment chapter in the RPG industry. I checked. 596 spells, 182 monsters. It's a good book. So I definitely recommend it.
Not bad at all.
No, not at all. And one of our contemporaries, Aaron the Relentless, is the first person to write a review about it. Aaron gave it 5 stars. Aaron the Relentless is one of those super nerds out there who is always really good about rule checking and knowing about stuff. So if Aaron the Relentless says it's 5 stars, it's good. Yeah. Claudio Pozos did the art on it too. Yeah, I love Claudio Pozos. I've seen his work for years and years and years. He's good stuff. Monkey Jeebus, where is Bathmat? Batmat doesn't appear on this show. Do we look like we have puppets on here?
Not yet.
Not yet, anyway.
I saw your guys' puppet show. It was adorable.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had fun trying to figure out who was who. Ironcaster was obvious.
Well, yeah, I mean,
He was the most
kinda looked-
obvious. He has one voice. He can't disguise his voice.
Oh. I mean, also, he kind of looks like me.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Oh,
For,
I didn't
for
mean that
Monkey
as an insult.
for Monkey Jeebus, I'll give you some bath mat monkey. Here you go.
What can I say? I like everybody. Everyone is welcome here. Come on down, sign the contracts. We've got a spot for you here. We don't discriminate. We treat everybody equally down here in hell. This has been your Lord Baphomet telling you, stop playing with dice. Go play with some boobies or something.
Oh,
Lord Bathmat.
adorable.
Yeah. So, the new player's handbook.
T-shirt, I think
what?
we might want to reprioritize one topic first
Was that?
because we only have
What?
someone it's related to for a limited amount of time still.
Okay. So,
Wait. No, I see your message. We should get to your article. What article?
The one you said called you Nephilim.
Oh, that was a YouTube video.
I was a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Who
there
called
was
you a
this, like,
Nephilim?
there was this like 15-minute long video that was like, is Harmony Ginger hiding a dangerous secret? And I freaked out when I saw it. I was like, what is this? Do they know my secret already? And so I clicked it and he's like, here, I'll find it. It was really good. But
It's the truth about gingers that they don't in fact have souls.
he was like, he said that I have 2 sets of teeth or something.
What?
He did. He said, you'll know she's a Nephilim because did anyone get a good look in her mouth during Diversity and Dragons? Because if you didn't, she might have 2 sets of teeth, and we need to see dental records on Harmony Ginger. It was a good one.
It's about as insane as like the transvestigators who insist that every celebrity, every person on the internet is somehow transgender.
What?
Yeah, that's the
You've
whole
not
thing.
heard of that.
No, say that again.
Okay, so I can't say it. Transvestigators.
Uh-huh.
There's this whole subsect of people on the internet who like always look at people and try to say like, oh, they're actually, transgender. This person is actually like they'll go hyperanalyze a person. Look at their soul, look at the way they lean, look at the way they stand.
People do that
totally
about
insane.
me. Oh my
Just you
god!
wait.
Do you know why I don't post selfies anymore on Twitter? No, this is really embarrassing. Actually, I gotta be careful what I say about this. I don't want to go too hard on this one, but like I posted a selfie once on Twitter, and it got retweeted by an account that was like retweets cute trans girls.
What?
And, yeah, and, like I don't want to insult anyone, but I was like, all right. I'm not gonna
Okay,
say
then.
anything else about that.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm trans positive, so that's fine. Whatever.
Sure. But the big one recently is how many sets of teeth do I have?
That's yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like we should ask, how many sets do you have?
How many sets of teeth do I have?
Yeah, for the sake of
That's
full
a really
disclosure.
silly rumor, and I'm offended you would even ask.
Well, they don't have to be in your mouth. They could be like in a drawer somewhere.
No.
I mean, like, you guys don't start a weird. You guys don't.
No, just no.
You don't have a weird collection Like, you don't collect dentures?
I mean, everybody has like at least one weird collection.
True.
Exactly.
Some of us have
Maybe
several.
yours are teeth. I don't know.
So you're not like a
Maybe.
shark. You're not constantly growing new sets of teeth and
I
pushing
just
the old
think this
ones
is a
out.
wild rumor, and I don't know where people are getting this stuff, man. That's all I gotta say. I don't know.
I wasn't curious about the amount of teeth before her talking. Just answer suspect. Uh-oh.
Go up one more. JP's.
Oh, yeah. In her whole collection? Like the teeth she's taken from her victims? Yeah. My mom saved mine too, yeah. You have a Blue Meanie plush? Hey, Blue Meanie's cool.
Also, to Wick specifically, I am very sorry for bringing up that topic. It was just something that I got retweeted by.
Oh boy. Okay, well. So
Oh,
back to the initial topic.
I'm sorry. I thought that was very fun.
It was fun.
It was.
It was fun. But yeah, here's our here's page 33 and 32 of the new PHB. And yeah, I like how they put the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon characters in here for try to attract all the old folks back in, and it's kind of like, yeah, didn't you tell us to fuck off already? Why do you want us back now?
well, the thing is, I think it's more so that WotC as a whole has just kind of opened up more to the idea of acknowledging that it exists. Like, I don't see it purely as a nostalgia grab because, you know, hey, I think what more likely happened was probably some legalese cleared up with Disney to where they realize, oh, we actually do own these characters.
I beg to differ. I think they realized they fucked up when they started messing with the OGL and basically did their best to alienate those of us who initially bought 5e. Because let me tell you what, man, until all the new kids came in and started buying 5e and watching Critical Role and all that shit, we were the guys who were the old loyal faithful fans who were buying it, reading it, running it, using it. So we were the ones keeping it alive initially when it was kind of on life support after the disaster that was 4E. I mean, am I right? Am I wrong?
Probably.
I mean, I liked the 5e core, but I'm just gonna say that the changes that I've seen that they're making to whatever this edition is called, D&D 2024 or 5 or whatever, I don't like the changes I've seen. I don't like how they're making things more uniform. But I mean, so I'm probably not going to play it. But for me, it's not really political reasons so much as I don't really like the mechanical changes that I've seen. Also, am I looking at that right? Is that a class complexity chart with Barbarian rated higher than Fighter? What are they doing to them?
Hang on, let me
Barbarian harder than okay.
let me blow it up a little bit. I was gonna say so we could take a look at it. So yeah. Apparently bards are high complexity, monks are high complexity, druids are high complexity, sorcerers and warlocks are high complexity. Rogue is low complexity?
I mean, if it works like the 5e rogue, I would say rogue's medium, but
I would too. I mean,
I would also say
barbarians are
warlocks.
average.
Well, then again, I think they reworked warlocks, so never mind, because it's like now paladin-y. It's like a dark paladin now, I think. Right? Something like that.
I don't know. I haven't read it. I noticed they did drop Artificer, but that's like that was a good thing.
Well,
Yeah,
they've kind of largely been wanting to hold back Artificer for largely the Eberron stuff because I think what's going on is a lot of this they want to put into a new SRD to make available, and WotC just wants to hold back the Artificer as outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Artificer
So
should
it's
be a
just
different class.
Just to hold it back.
I think there are too many classes. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think there's too many classes, but I do notice that they have a session 0 right here. And let me tell you, man, some dude argued with me back and forth that I was doing session 0. And, I told him, I said, all I did, as far as our session 0, like for when I decided to run Zombicide or whatever, is I said, hey, we're going to be playing this. This is the setting. You can build your character and let me know. And then he was like, well, that's a modified session 0. And I said, it is? Yeah. I said, why don't you just get together in person? Why go through all the, rigors of going through an email? And I'm like, well, because I only get together with physical friends, and there's only 2 of them and they live in the same place. So it's kind of like, when we get together to game, it's kind of like we get together. Somebody says, like, okay, this is what I'm running, build characters. And then we start playing. There's no session 0. It's like we get right into the game. Well, that's still like a session 0. So, yeah. Then I checked all the pronouns and stuff in his bio, and I was like, oh.
I mean, you can call that a session 0. The GM says, this is what I'm running, come and make your characters. But I don't think that's what anybody actually means by a session 0. I don't think it got properly kind of codified and embedded until Fate, Spirit of the Century. And the idea behind it then was that you had to interweave all your characters' backgrounds, and like you would decide aspects for each other, and get your character history all together. So that's what codified it, and then that's then developed into what we see here, which I'm not happy to see it, but you can ignore it. It's fine.
I do ignore it. And Maliki, I don't think that counts as a session 0, because that's like saying, Star Wars: A New Hope that appeared in 1977 was session 0. It was film 0. I'm like, and people say, what do you mean it's film 0? Well, I mean, what did it do? It introduced all the characters and their backstories, right? We didn't really get involved with the Star Wars story until Empire Strikes Back, when we actually saw all of our heroes getting the shit kicked out of them and everybody on the losing side and everything. That's why Empire Strikes Back is still the best Star Wars film ever made.
See, I think this could be improved with just one removal. The monk.
Yeah.
Should be a fighter subclass, really.
Stop it.
What?
Monks,
No.
monks need to be there.
You off to Oriental
No, monk.
and get the fuck out of here.
No.
Yes.
No.
Take your shaved bald head and your zen and fuck off back to Karatur.
Seriously, though, I don't... Go ahead.
They can't do Karatur. They want to, but they can't do it.
Monks they don't fit.
No.
Never have.
They've been in there since AD&D.
And they've never fit.
No.
I deleted them from Myri's. They don't exist in my setting at all.
Shut
Bravo.
up. Ugh,
Why
all
would,
of you.
Why would they exist? And never mind. I'll just.
You can have a squad.
Emotional damage.
Stop hurting me. I'm a martial artist, goddammit.
Quick wants to fight you.
Good
now.
for you. Good for you. The monk still doesn't belong in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
Monks should be a subset of cleric with a vow of silence, and so when you kill off someone's horny bard, they have to play that.
yeah. Well,
No.
all you guys were out dating Stacy. T-shirted historian was studying the blade.
Well, kind of true.
So,
I'm sorry, Harmony. Wait. Give Harmony a chance. I know we've been running over her here. Go ahead and say what you wanted to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I actually, this back to the session 0 stuff. I actually don't care at all about session 0, what does or doesn't count, because it's so group dependent. If you're playing with a group of randos online, you probably want a session 0. If you're playing with a group of your close friends, you don't. I think the debate's really a waste of time. Personally. But yeah, that was like 3 topics ago, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Okay, go ahead, Caster.
oh, just it seems by and large a lot more of the kind of wider D&D talk has kind of been openly pooping on this because everyone seems to not like this at all. Like everyone's favorite tiefling VTuber, Melissa Belladonis, of course, saying, "New drinking game. Take a shot every time Jeremy calls a new feature brand new when it's just a reprint from Tasha's."
True. Well, hang on. I got to read this in Jeremy Crawford voice. The Ranger. But damn it, would you? Yeah.
I went
the
back.
Ranger class, more than any other class in the new player's handbook, is a new class. There you go.
So that was a fucking lie.
Yep.
And yeah, everyone's kind of like down the line. Well, yeah, how else are we going to get you to buy new books, buy the same book for the third or fourth time?
Yeah.
The real drinking game is every time Todd says, "Yes, perfect," or "Oh," just reacts in an excited way.
Oh God, Todd is such a... What does Todd actually fucking do?
He's called Todd.
Okay.
That's what he does.
Holy fuck.
There are some who would call me Todd.
Todd.
Todd the Enchanter.
Okay, look. For everybody who needs a session 0, I have a meme for you, okay? This is perfect. I just saw that this week. This is for people who need session 0. Go ahead, Ironcaster. Would you read the part of Cecil Ross, Catboy Supreme?
All right. let me get in character. Where's my monster? No, this will have to do. Meow, 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 meow. The recipe starts by telling you to boil an egg. You Google how to boil an egg. It tells you to boil a pot of water. How much water? Which pot? What temperature? Give up and order pizza.
Grim, would you read Eroc's part?
Water boils at one temperature. Figure enough water to cover the egg, because the water is cooking the egg.
In harmony, please do Forest Wells.
It's not that simple. You lose water as it heats, and each location and stovetop is just a little bit different. How much heat do you need? Does the pot matter? What is actually boiling? The list goes on.
We're not gonna make it, people. I mean, yeah, this is like how session 0 feels to me. Like this shit right here. People who
It's in
can't
your
figure out
nature
how
to destroy yourselves.
It's in your nature to destroy yourselves. Yeah. Get to the chopper now, John. Peer head back in, you know. You already missed the asteroid hymn, Wick.
It is amazing how people just don't know how to cook anything anymore, though.
Yeah, it's because a lifetime of, chicken McNuggets and shit,
Did you see that controversy though on Twitter where people are like saying that DoorDash is like an essential service for people who are too socially anxious to go to the grocery store?
Well, I mean, I admit I use it a little bit too much, and it's probably not a good idea, but going to the grocery store will save you a hell of a lot of money. Like this, did you see this video that somebody posted up? I don't have it downloaded or anything, but somebody posted up a video where they took 3 cans of Pringles.
Oh no.
They boiled that shit through spices and other stuff in it, and they made mashed potatoes out of it.
Okay, but why though?
Did they consider using potatoes?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So just fucking use potatoes. Or if you're too goddamn lazy, why don't you use some like instant potatoes? They make those too, and they're still cheaper than 3 fucking cans of Pringles.
How do these people end up with so much in college loans when there's no way they could have survived college?
I wonder that too.
Well, part of it is also the fact that you have so many people trying to come up with the next big viral thing on social media. The fact that like people are only doing this because they want to get the attention on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram. The next big food hack.
Cook for yourself. There's a food hack.
I don't think it's that. I think
mean-
people go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I don't think it's that. I think it's rage bait, honestly. I think people know that like people are gonna get mad and have something to say about it if they boil a whole can of Pringles. Like they know. People aren't that stupid, right?
This person seemed to be taking it very seriously. I mean, she was giving out instructions and putting in spices and everything, Harmony. It was
It's an
insane.
act. No, it's got to be an act. It's got to be an act. So people will be like, have you considered using potatoes? And it'll boost them in the algorithm. And then she'll get famous as the girl who boiled Pringles.
I mean,
There
I
is
don't
no
know.
way. There is no way her mother did not teach her how to cook better than that. I can't believe it. I'm sorry.
You know, after all this, I'm reminded of just those infamous that infamous meme that I swear is slowly becoming more and more true as time has gone on.
Oh.
Any female born after 1993 can't cook. All they know is McDonald's, charge they phone, twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, and lie.
Well,
I was born before 1993. I'll just say that.
yeah.
How far
It's
before?
the dumbest thing.
And also, I'm diabetic. I have to know how to cook.
Yeah, I mean, I seriously saw some woman the other day who was talking about how she had a lemon tree in her yard, but she'd never used the lemons off the tree because she thought that you couldn't do that. They had to be processed some certain way and then sold in the store for her to buy them and use them.
More lemons for the lemon stealers.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I had a tangerine tree in my yard until some kids were like playing on it and like half of it fell down on them. And then the homeowners association knocked down the other half. And now there's no more tangerine tree. And
God
I'm
damn
so
it.
pissed off about it. Yeah.
Tangerines are good too.
Better than crotch fruit.
Ew.
Gross.
I mean, you know, I'm not sure about Grim or Greg, but I was a goddamn latchkey kid, so it was like, you know, I had to walk home from school and not just like, you know, across the street. We're talking like a pretty good distance to my trailer park because I was trailer park trash.
Yeah,
And then-
Pelekini.
Yeah. And then I had to learn how to fucking, you know, cook shit on the stove. Like ramen. I got to learn how to make ramen real early in life. So I'm sitting there like, you know, 10 years old, fucking boiling water on a gas stove that I had to know how to light to cook food. So I'd have something to eat. So I'm like,
Did you ever have loser's lunch?
which was loser's lunch?
Bologna with no bread.
No, I never had that. Although we did actually just used to melt cheese on bread and call that breakfast.
I mean,
That's cheese on toast. That's, yeah,
Okay.
it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also grew up knowing how to make quesadillas because, you know, we would cook them on the stovetop. Just tortillas and cheese, but it works. You'd be surprised the first time I actually saw an actual quesadilla being sold in Taco Bell and got one. I was like, this is the same shit we've been making for years, and they're charging $4 for this shit.
And you bought it.
And I bought it.
I was too busy
Goddamn.
playing AD&D for dinner.
You know, we actually used to go.
Because we had to get the bus home from school and to school because it's too far to walk.
No.
Yeah, and uphill both ways. So
Yeah. Luckily, the bus I took was pretty short, and there was always a seat for me.
But we did used to go and rampage in the woods and shoot
did.
each other with arrows, actual
Yep.
arrows.
Yep.
And build forts and dens and go exploring barns and empty buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Used to catch scorpions, like actual ones.
Do you use like a UV light?
No, we just dug them
Oh,
up.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, we just picked up
That's gonna catch
rocks.
scorpions. It's the only way you can find them in a lot of places. But you're in Texas, so you can probably find a bunch more. But like where I'm from, to find them, you have to like hold a UV light up at night because they glow in the UV lights.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they do, but yeah, we were in Texas and it was dirt. So yeah, it's just like we just knew to turn over rocks and you'd find a scorpion for sure, or a bunch of other shit that you know that was fun to play with if you like centipedes and stuff like that.
No, they all
Don't
they
play
all
with
freeze
centipedes.
here.
I found one that was at least 8 inches long once.
That's what she said.
Had like the red head on one end and the whole body was black. Yeah, that thing probably would have hurt if it had bit me. We fed it to fire ants.
Giant Brazilian centipede.
Lord Doth. Blink. Yeah, it's true, dude.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Kit's right.
No, the most we ever had was like crawfish.
We were we used to catch crawdads. They're crawdads, not crayfish.
Yeah,
Crayfish is like fancy word.
It's Jeremy Crawfish.
Crawdad.
What? What, Harmony?
Crawfish.
Jeremy Crawfish.
Jeremy Crawfish. And Kevin
I
Crawdad.
I too come from Crawdad country.
Crawdads.
Yeah. My dad used to teach me how to catch the Helgramites, the
Mhm.
larvae for them. Right.
Bacon.
I'm gonna need to get out of here, guys. So it was lovely.
All right.
I will see you guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Harmony. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Take care.
Oh.
So yeah,
So
this is what we get to look for: Master tier and Hero tier. If you want to get it 2 weeks earlier or 1 week earlier, because why?
well, because the video game industry does it.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like.
And Hasbro has basically made it explicitly clear they see themselves as a game company.
The only reason I could see that you would want it 2 weeks early, and I bet this is who's going to buy it, is not the people who are using it. It's the people who are wanting to build YouTube videos talking about all the new features and shit early.
Yeah.
That's all I would do.
That's not really my audience, so it's not worth me doing.
What? Grim, don't you have players on as your audience?
Not a lot of D&D people stop by my channel. I pick up a lot of sort of indie gamers and things like that.
Well, with that in mind, why don't we talk about something that we probably should, or do you want to save this for Tuesday? But I was thinking about etiquette. Do you think I actually think we could talk about it for an hour on Tuesday, or do you want to talk about it now?
Let's talk about it now. I think it'll be a bit much for an hour.
So, okay. So a lot of the impetus and all the YouTube channels and all the forum postings, et cetera, a lot of the shit is thrown at the DM. As in, it's the DM's responsibility. It's the DM's responsibility. It's the DM's responsibility. My thing is, what are the players responsible for? What should the players be doing? What is their responsibility?
Well, I suppose that all depends on just how much of the responsibility the game master, the DM, whatever you want to call him, has passed off onto the players. I mean, it used to be that the players were expected to make the maps, to map it out, the dungeon as you explore, and that mentality has largely gone away.
Yeah, nobody maps anymore.
Yeah, and you don't have a caller either to say what everyone's doing each turn.
I've never had a caller. That was the first time I heard of that. I was like, "What the hell is a caller?"
Yeah. And other people would take notes on like puzzles and clues and stuff as well. We still have people in our games who make notes, but it's a kind of self-appointed thing.
Yeah. Greg, what do you say?
Well, I always only had a group of 2 or 3 people, and it was hard trying to get one of our small group to commit to drawing a map or taking notes. So I always had an NPC do it for them. It is what it is. The NPC was the caller. If they weren't paying attention and they just were eating pizza or whatever, NPC would kind of nudge them to tell them that there might be poisonous traps. Yes, I know it sounds like story game fudging or whatever, but you have to understand. I had one guy that didn't know how to read, and he was just there until it was his turn, and he would roll a d20 and hit things. And then my other character was Frank, my co-author, who was Frodo, and so he was basically there to listen to the Frodo story, and he didn't really do much in the game. So it was like, yeah, they needed some help.
The Frodo story. Oh.
Yeah.
I think committing and showing up is the most important thing, and paying attention is nice too.
And you think I was exaggerating? He really didn't know how to read. I think they held him back like 2 grades. He was in this what we used to call the stupid class. Like
Led. Yeah.
we had a couple of players like that over the years, but gaming really helped them because they saw the point in learning to read and do their numbers if it had an effect on the game and made things easier on them, whereas they couldn't see the point in class at school. So yeah, that was a good thing.
Right. And I mean, sort of in line with other expectations for players, the commentary, the jokes, it's important to not, do it so much to the point where it's getting completely off the rail of what's going on. Like you give a basic amount of respect to the GM, the storyteller, again, whatever term you want to use.
Yeah. Silverlock said that these days it's difficult for people to keep up with their own characters' rules, and that drives him crazy. Yeah, that drives me crazy. I not only have to run the game and know the rules for all the monsters and everything else, and get it prepped, but I have to tell you every session what your spells do. And I don't mind hand-holding people through the rules for a few sessions. That happens quite often on tabletoppers because we have guests and people who've never played before and things like that. But when it's happening to the same person with the same character, session after session after session, yeah, it gets wearing.
JP, no.
There's an easy way to stop them, JP. You just say, "Stop that! It's silly."
Yes. You got to have at least 1 or 2 Monty Python. That and maybe some Mel Brooks, because Blazing Saddles comes up a lot in our games. I'm not saying which parts. What hump? Yeah, see? There I am automatically, yeah. All the funny stuff that we grew up with, yeah, that ends up in the games. Yeah, Princess Bride. Princess Bride definitely shows up a lot. Roads of unusual size? I don't think they really exist. I think I jogged him too hard.
Some games are kind of deliberately, mechanically offloading some of the work onto the players, though, aren't they? Like Morkborg, you don't roll for the monsters to hit the players roll to avoid the hits from the monsters. So that makes them do it. And you have something similar in the Cypher system, Numenera and all that.
Oh, yeah, Zombicide Chronicles has players deciding how they're going to take damage.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot of games that do that, and I will always big up Deadlands, those previous editions, for the way it forced players to keep track of their flaws and bring them up when they were a problem, because that's how you earned chips. And so players weren't taking flaws on their characters and then you were forgetting about them and not implementing them. The players would remind you.
Maliki, you actually have a copy of Symborum. Didn't that book like 800 or 900 pages or some shit? It's like, I remember that book was huge. If that's the one I'm thinking of, the one by Damn, what's that guy's name? He used to work Monty Cook. Isn't that right? That it was like a big, huge ass book.
No, Symborum's the Free League one.
Oh, okay. Which one am I thinking of? That was just was it Tolus or?
Yeah, Tolus. I think that was that enormous city book, wasn't it?
I want to say yeah. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Damn it.
Maliki said it's from Free League.
Yeah.
Yeah, Symborum's their dark fantasy game, I think. Yeah, Tolus, or however you're meant to pronounce it.
Tolus, City by the Spire. That's what it was. Yeah, the book is $167.99. That's in print and PDF. You can still buy it. It's nearly a $200 book, and I never saw what the 1,000 pages. Yeah. I remember that one. I never bought that one.
Yeah.
Oh, my mind went to Cinnabar.
Cinnabar? Why?
I don't know. Just that was one of the other ones. I was like trying to play some like. Was it Cinnabar you're thinking of?
No, I have Cinnabar. It's big, but it's not like it ain't that big. And yeah, that's the biggest one I have right now. Also, Maliki. That, and I also have the world's biggest dungeon and the world's biggest city, which there's some pretty huge ones. But yeah, I remember Tolus. Tolus was released back during the 3E craze, and yeah, I just remember seeing pictures of that book and going, "Fuck."
Yeah, that was 2006.
Oh my god, F and GM, you actually have a copy of it? How do you use that at the table? I mean, doesn't the spine on that thing just get broken? Huh?
I use it as the table.
Yeah. Well, what other things are you think character players are responsible for? How about snacks?
I always buy that for my players. I'm always in charge of that.
Well, the thing is, I think it largely depends on the combination of the play group as well as who's hosting. Because that could be a more subjective thing, because some GMs want to just really put on an experience and entertain people. For example, when I go play with one of the groups I play with, we're at the GM's house, and they always wind up cooking. So we always get something. Might be sandwiches, might be goulash, might be mac and cheese, etc. But basically, we always know that when we go there's going to be food. So
yeah.
So oftentimes I'll try to bring some chips. I'll try to at least help out in some way.
We usually brought our own, but sometimes we'd bring enough stuff for other people to snack on, or people would just have stuff sitting up on the table and they'd share.
We usually all just chip in and get takeout, because you get so much more stuff if you all pay a little bit. At one time, we had a special deal just for us with one of the local pizza places, because we were ordering so many times. They gave us like an extra 10% discount, which was nice.
I've been at a couple of tables where it was kind of like we had like rotating turns for who had to buy everyone stuff. So, like, I think on my turn, I bought like a whole bunch of Chinese food. I was popular that day. But yeah, I mean, there's the whole snack thing. I do think people need to show up at the game with their own stuff, for sure. I don't think it should be incumbent on the DM to loan you stuff. I mean, dice and pencils, that's easy, because most everybody has 15 or 16 collections of dice sitting around that, and most people are happy to let other people use them.
Yeah.
We kind of have the inheritor set at our table these days, because one of our players died a few years ago, and he left his collection of dice up there at the at our place with it. So we keep his box of dice up there for people who need to borrow dice. Because I know he'd be happier, having somebody roll them. But, I mean, just as far as books and stuff like that, though, it gets kind of expensive on DMs. Like, I bought 2 copies of Worlds Without Number, 2 copies of Cities Without Number. The extra copy is, for me to loan around to somebody else. Obviously, I keep my good copy for me. I give them the POD. But I'm not stupid. But that gets expensive. I mean, they were even saying before how the DM tends to incur the most amount of it, the most expenses, because they're the ones buying all the damn books.
Yeah.
And all the miniatures and the battle board.
Uh-huh. Plus, in my case, I paint all the miniatures too. So
Yeah, so I mean, there's all this talk about being sort of paid to Games Master and so on, but yeah, there used to be an amount of payment in kind, I guess. Like, you're running the game, you've bought all the books, so you don't have to pay for the takeout. That would happen quite often, which is nice. And people would mysteriously buy books that would help their characters in some way and offer them up.
take care, Effin. Yeah. I think it's okay to have like at least 1 or 2 loaner books, like for core books or something like that, just to have at the table. We didn't have too much of a problem with it because, the guys I gamed with, we gamed at our game store. So we had shelves full of books. We did still buy our own books and everything, but, the point was, it's like if we needed to look up something, we could go grab one up off the store shelf and look at it because we played after hours.
And then the storekeeper would come and beat you to death with a baseball bat for getting your Cheeto fingers on his stock.
But I was playing with the storekeeper, so so his fingers were covered with Cheetos too. I hate Cheeto fingers. That's one thing that definitely needs to be banned at all the tables. It's Cheetos, Doritos, anything like that leaves your fingers all
See, this is why I say pretzels are a excellent game snack.
They're greasy, but I hate them and they're tasteless.
What, pretzels?
Pretzels.
No, you got to try those Dots pretzels. Those are the shit.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are fucking good.
I like those. I forget what brand it is, but it's like they're flavored, like hot jalapeno flavored ones. They're really good.
Snyder's of Hanover.
Snyder's of Hanover, yeah.
Next time you see that red bag, that Dots original seasoned, you try them. You tell me what you think, because those are addicting.
I've tried those. They have some kind of seasoning in them. They're pretty good. Damn, we need to have another food episode, I think.
Food fight time.
I tell you, but it's so expensive over here.
If McCree cancels on us again next week, we're just going to do a food fight episode. Damn it!
Yeah, our show is called "I Went Into the Dungeon Only to Find Pretzels and Beer."
Well, I mean, they did make an entire anime that was kind of based around food in a dungeon,
fighting foodons.
All right, guys.
We need to just kind of put our heads together and just do a big old food-based monster manual.
We could.
All of my books have at least one authentic recipe in them. It's like a little Easter egg we always include.
So
all fear the deviled egg.
Well, instead of hellhounds, we have hot dogs.
Yeah,
hellham.
The kaiju game is gonna have a recipe for a rat burger, like in Demolition Man.
Was it rat burger? It was good.
Pretty good. Well, just kind of a last thing. So I have been playing Elden Ring because I've been playing the Shadow of the Erd Tree expansion.
Drink.
Yeah. What? Why drink?
Because you mentioned Elden Ring.
Why? Why is that? Do I mention Elden Ring a lot?
It's going on the rules.
It is?
Yes, right alongside
Okay.
Kevin Crawford.
I don't
You're
remember him talking about Elden Ring in a while.
Yeah,
Oh, trust me, it comes up.
it does.
And it will be coming up now because of the DLC. So
Yeah, that's the only reason I brought it up is because of the DLC. Yeah, well, they got this. They got the Steam summer sale going on right now. I'm too broke to afford anything, but I can kind of sniff the packaging.
I may have dropped like $100 today.
Damn, must be nice. But I'm actually kind of a little bit sick at myself because my record for the most amount of time on a game right now is Fallout New Vegas. I have 1,064.4 hours. And closing in somewhere behind that is Skyrim. I have about 629 hours. All right.
But how much was played without mods?
Oh, well, I don't really play with mods much in Fallout. Or, I mean, in Elder Scrolls. But Elden Ring, I have 686.8 hours, and I still haven't finished. But I have to confess, I keep starting characters over because I'm having so much fun with it. But my weakness. But I will say that the new DLC is massive. There's so much stuff to check out. There are a lot of areas. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stuff that gets cleared up, especially if you're paying attention. And a lot of new weapons that are just, oh my god, they're so fucking cool. Like, they got great katanas in there now, and I'm just like, yeah!
no daichi.
That's what it is, basically. And the one, my favorite one is the Dragon Slayer katana, because it's it literally does more damage to dragons. Not to mention, it lets you jump in the air, and you get all these hyper armor while you're doing it, and it shoots out like this wave of power. So I'm like, this is so badass. So I've got my build right now is currently around that. It was around Bloodhound Fang, which, damn, that thing is overpowered too. But everybody else is, I mean, that's on YouTube. Everywhere I look now, it's like everybody's dropping all these overpowered builds for Elden Ring. But I do have one problem with it. One thing that does piss me off that I don't like, and that is they deliberately took all of the regular enemies and all of the bosses in this game, and they jacked up the difficulty to 12 because they gave them a lot more hit points. They can make them hit harder, and that is because they have a mechanic they introduced in this DLC, which is Scadutree fragments and ashes, spirit ashes. You have to go through and collect all these things because they give you a percentage of damage negation and a percentage of damage increase. And basically, it's all these tree fragments are only good in the DLC area. So even though maybe you've collected like 40 of these fucking things, and you have like a plus 50% damage increase and damage negation on your character, it does you no good in the base game. It only does you any good inside the DLC area. Which begs the question is like, why make this artificial mechanic, of making everything so damn hard that you had to have this in order to progress through the game? Why not just scale those enemies at the same rate that all the other enemies in the game were scaled? It's like we made a problem and then we put in a solution that requires you absolutely to have to do this in order to progress to make it through the game, because otherwise it's too damn hard. It's like I went in there with my 300th level character and took on one of the bosses, and that dude just destroyed me before I had any fragments. you know, and I mean, it took me about 15 tries before I finally beat this dude. So I started picking up all the little fragments and came back, tried another boss that was similar in difficulty to this one, blew through him. So that was kind of like, okay, so there was nothing wrong with my build. There was nothing wrong with the stuff I was using. It's just you artificially inflated all these guys' health points and their damage output in order to force me to go and interact with the game in the way you wanted instead of the way I wanted.
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me that they went and started messing with, anything they thought people were cheesing.
Well, people are going to cheese anyway. And as a matter of fact, part of the thing that pisses me off is because they artificially ramped up the difficulty on some of these bosses and stuff so much, you are actually forced or encouraged to cheese in order to prevail. Give you a good example. There's a boss named Bale the Dread, who is a dragon. And I mean, it's like, my character was pretty well leveled up, had a lot of Skadoo tree fragments, and, had a lot of damage resistance and everything else. Walked in there, and he just utterly vaporized my character within seconds. It's like, I never even had a chance. It's like, I would get my summon off, and then instantly I'm dead.
Skill issue.
Well, that's what people would say. It's a skill issue. But I don't think it's a skill issue.
No, it's not. When
they deliberately make the bosses that difficult. And it's just like, why do you do this? So eventually, I got so pissed after about the 15th or 16th time of getting my ass kicked that I went and looked for a cheese. Sure enough, I found a cheese. I used the cheese. It took me 30 minutes, but I killed that fucking boss. And I don't feel bad about doing it. I'm like, you know what? I will use this cheese every single time if this is what it takes to progress, because I want to see more of the story.
They made it that hard because Korean people play the game.
Fuck you, Korean. I don't know.
Mongolians.
Koreans, not even once.
Yeah. And I've heard there are a lot of people who are complaining about it, about the difficulty being too high. And I'm just like, I don't mind that it's so high. It's just that, if you had to build this artificial method in there to game balance or to make balance in the game, what did you really do? And I used to get pissed because all the other DLCs that would drop for Dark Souls, just did the same thing too. They would make the enemies have more phases and more health and more damage and everything. It's just kind of like, And then, of course, if you can't beat them, it's like, oh, get good. How the fuck much better good am I going to get? What do I need to level to?
Mm.
So, it's like...
At least leveling actually helps a bit in Elden Ring.
It does. It does. But I mean, I walked into the DLC. The recommended level to go into the DLC is 150. At 150, you can comfortably take on the final boss of the game, Radagon, and prevail. More so if you call in support from other people. You can easily do it. Especially if you know the fight already. But yeah, at 150 walking into the DLC, the first enemy I ran into, I'm sitting there chugging potions left and right because this dude is killing me dead. I'm just like, man.
Like that noise.
Yeah.
Back to back, man.
But I do like the DLC. It's beautiful. Like I said, it's got some great story beats to it. It has some really awesome new weapons, new spells, really cool new characters. Lots more voice actors from the UK who I'm busy sitting here trying to figure out, well, what accent is that? Because I'm serious. It's like, I almost want to like start sending these. Grim. What accent is this guy using? Is he Welsh? Is he Cornish? Is he Northumbrian? What? I mean,
He is the accent whisperer.
I mean, seriously. Well, I mean, Grim can tell. I mean, he knows. I don't know how English people can tell where everyone else is from in their own country, but they somehow can.
Well, we're immersed in it.
Ah, that's what it is. There's at least one guy in there who sounds like Grim almost. I'm like, oh, he's got to be from the same region that Grim lives in.
I have a somewhat regionless accent.
I don't know. You sound like Master Hugh to me.
Received pronunciation mixed with estuary English.
Yes. No, I don't blame you. Now, let's get to smithing. But
Well, I suppose it's kind of like one of those things where when you're from the area, you can tell the differences in the regional accents. Like I'm pretty sure, like I think you, for example, could much more clearly tell if someone's from like Louisiana.
oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, if they start talking like Cajun man, and or like that, y'all, yeah, throw 3 stick of butter on the grill, y'all. Throw some of that then, y'all. It's like, yeah, he's straight out of L.A. there, isn't he? But like, like Texans and Georgians and all the Alabamans and all that, we all kind of sound similar in the South. So it's kind of like, it would be really hard for me to tell the difference between like somebody who's from Alabama versus somebody who's from Texas, because we sound similar. So, of course, then you get the New Yorkers, and I'm just like, yeah, I can spot you right away.
Yeah.
But then there's differences, I think, within New York, because some of people there seem to have this mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah.
Like the old movies, while others are much more rustic.
I don't know. And then you get like the Puerto Ricans, and you can't understand what the fuck they're saying. But even when they speak Spanish. But anyway, I do recommend it. But yeah, just be prepared to start looking for those fragments as soon as you hit the game. I mean, look up a YouTube channel that tells you where all the fragments are, and before you do anything else in the game, start hunting all those fragments down first. Get as many as you can, then come back and actually try to play through the DLC, and you'll have a lot more fun than if you go run straight at an enemy and discover, oh, my my plus 25 great sword just barely, like I need it 2 shots enemies, but against this against this other common enemy, I'm just about to die.
It's something I look forward to playing once my PC upgrades come in.
Well, I know Grim has it too. I don't think he's played it much, but
No, I pretty much completed it, and then that was enough for me.
Convinced my co-author to buy it, and he is going to play it, but he wants to finish Alien Isolation first.
Ugh. Well, good luck to him.
Why, you don't like that game?
Not a fan.
It's better than Resident Evil.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot more terrifying.
Yeah, well, before it was patched, the alien would sometimes spaz out comedically, which kind of ruined the atmosphere, but it works well now.
Well, I remember I did that in Alien Colonial Marines. Now that game's horrible.
That game's hard as hell. No, I like Resident Evil because I can shoot back. It's like, zombie? Hey, guess what? I've got a pistol. At least I have a chance. I may run out of ammo, but damn it. Till I do, I'm killing zombies. But anyway, I guess that's all we've got for today. But what is it? Tomorrow, are you running Fallout?
Tomorrow is Fallout, and unless something changes, it's the penultimate session.
The penultimate session. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look forward to that. And hopefully Tuesday morning, I have some kind of an idea of something that we're going to talk about on Dungeons and Discussions.
Yes. And we have
I'll
an
think of
extra method to wake me up and remind me that it exists on Tuesday.
Yes. And by the way, if you guys out there, Dungeons and Discussions is kind of my evergreen content. So it's like something I expect people to be able to watch and it still be kind of relevant for years and years afterward. So if there's some in particular topic that you want us to look at in Dungeons and Discussions, yeah, feel free to let us know. You know, like you really want us to examine alignment or something. Like, please don't make us do that, because the alignment thing is, good Lord. I mean, and there are certain things that will probably never be resolved.
Did
like
you see
alignment.
though that they still had alignment in the Player's Guide preview?
Did they?
Yeah, they mentioned alignment and said it's like a rough guide to your character's moral schema or whatever. So yeah, they haven't got rid of it like they were threatening to for so long.
I guess they figured they needed it.
I think we should just have a short, succinct episode. So that's why we should talk about alignment, fudging dice, what one time, orcs as black people, and combat wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that'll be a short episode, I'm sure. that sounds short and succinct. Jeez. We did talk about fudging though. We had a session on fudging.
Well, what about writing in books?
Writing books?
Writing in the book.
Oh.
You have your highlighter, your Sharpie.
I mean, if it's your book, it's fine. I tell you what, I had a player who showed up and he borrowed my Pathfinder book, and it was the little ones, you know, the portable ones.
Yep.
And like, I don't have a book I can actually show you this with that it won't destroy it. Wait a minute, let me see. I got this little user.
Did he fold the cover over?
Yeah, he basically. Yeah, he took my book and he went like this with it. And I.
So naturally, you grabbed your bat and beat him to death.
No, I didn't. But yeah, I was not happy.
I don't necessarily mind when people doodle in books, as long as it's their own books, or you know, write little notes in the margins or whatever. That's part of the fun of buying secondhand books, is finding like the archaeology of other people's gaming sessions, or
yeah,
scribbled in recipes on the back cover of an old cookery book or something. Yeah, that's fun.
And let's be honest, of the people still watching out there, how many of you guys actually colored in your monster manuals?
Well, how do you feel about how do you feel about those little corner brackets for the books? Those little corner protector pieces like this.
Those didn't know those existed in my time. I used electrical tape.
Yeah. I just had crumpled edges.
I used the plastic covering you could get for school books.
Oh, the thought of just like the bubbles and like
that tacky feeling of the plastic on the cover.
Well, my dad was originally a teacher, so he was a dab hand at applying those without bubbles. So,
like ripping it off and like destroying everything.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing you a lot of you kids missed out on is actually, you know, when they gave you textbooks to use in schoolrooms, they made you put book covers on them. And we would usually spend like a day figuring out how to put book covers on correctly. So we would always find a lot of different methods for doing it. And the other part of it too was picking out these book covers, because you know they usually had advertisements and shit on them. And we would always pick the really fun ones so that we could doodle on them and stuff, and you know, write obscene shit all over the covers.
we would go for the cardboard bags.
Oh, that's no fun.
And well, the thing was that it was either that or those like little kind of stretchy fabric ones. And
No.
there was a story we were told where the year prior, the school had just gotten brand new books, and so the school went and got all these covers for them, but not realizing they were all sticky backed.
Ew.
Had all the students put all these sticky protective covers over all the brand new books. So when they went to go pull them off, everyone had theirs ruined.
Jeez. Yeah. Had to unlearn writing in your textbook. Yeah. All right. Not even going to get into college textbook costs. That's ridiculous. But fun times. But anyway, shall we adjourn for the evening, my fellows?
Indeed. Indubitably.
Okay.
All right. Y'all take care. Have fun out there. Catch us tomorrow when we play in Grimm's game, and catch us Tuesday for 2 shows.
Yep. See you later.
Yes. And in closing, those of you who missed it when we came in, I'd like to close with a hymn, if we can. Yes. It'll be "Send Us Thine Asteroid, O Lord." Thank you very much for coming.
Send